Class discussion.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Our classmates want to have several questions for you. And the first one, what kind of sport do you usually do?
When I was back in China, maybe 1 or 2 years ago when I was still at college, I would do some jogging in the mornings. But now I do not do any exercises.
So it's hard for you to find time to do that.
Yes, I think there are 2 reasons. The first reason is that I'm too busy, and this is the official excuse. The second reason is the real reason, that I'm too lazy to do exercises.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. And second question is, what kind of food do you prefer? Do you think you eat healthy?
I prefer Chinese food. I think now I eat healthier than I was back in Beijing, because when I was in Beijing, both me and my husband were very busy. We seldom cooked ourselves, so whenever we had time to be together, we would go out to eat in a restaurant, for example. But now we are here, we have to cook every day, and I think we eat much healthier than before. We cook Chinese food every day, and I think Chinese food is healthier than American food because we have a lot of vegetables in it.
What do you do to have your spiritual health?
I think sometimes if I feel stressed, I will first of all find someone to talk. For example, my husband, my parents, my friends, people who are close to me. Even if they cannot provide me with a solution to my problem, I would feel much better after talking to them. So I think that is one way that I use to keep my spiritual health. Secondly, if I feel stressed, I would maybe read a book that I like. For example, a novel, a love story, a fashion magazine. And because I love books and I love collecting books, I would also try to find some time to go to the bookstores to see what new books they have. And somehow that would make me happier. And another way is that I would write blogs. I think this is a way to communicate my thoughts to strangers who don't know me. And in some other way, they are also my friends, although we never meet each other. So sometimes it was good to read their comments on my entries.
So that means if you have 10 or more minutes, you have many choices to release your stress. For example, write blogs.
Yes. Yes, I would write blogs or read things that I like, except for the textbooks, the boring stuff. I would read things that I like.
In fact, that's my
fashion
fourth
magazine.
question. Okay, let's move on. And our final question is, our final question is, what do you think are the worst things nowadays that make people stressed?
The worst things?
Yeah, worst things.
I think the worst thing that make people feel stressed is that they have too high expectations on themselves, either from themselves or from their from people who are close to them. For example, parents, friends, family, and so because they have too high expectations on themselves, they had to always outperform themselves. For example, if a person says that I have to work hard because I'm afraid that I would lose this job, actually he or she means that I think I have this expectation on myself. If I do not do well on this job, I would lose this job, which is lower than my expectation on myself. So I think it is all about expectations.
Okay. If you can choose, what kind of sport will you do?
I think first My first choice would be tennis or golf because these two sports are the favorite of my husband. And he is always complaining to me that I would never accompany him on the course. And so if I have the chance, I would consider developing an interest in these two sports. Another thing is that I happen to have a good friend who was a professional dancer in Spain for 2 years. She danced flamenco, and she's now here with me, my classmate. So I'm thinking about learning from her as well. I think flamenco is quite cool.
Great. How do you stay slim?
I don't know. I do not intentionally stay slim or be on a diet. I think I just do not gain weight. I don't know why.
Okay.
And I can eat a lot and at the same time stay thin.
The last question. What do you think about the pressure on university students and employees?
I think as university students, sometimes you can put some stress on yourself so that you can outperform your peers and be outstanding in your academic records so that you can be able to locate a good job after graduation. And because college students are usually very young, I think they can afford to sometimes put more pressure on themselves. But as for employees, I think you need to work for many years in your life. At the same time you have families to take care of. You need to have your own life as well, except for the working side. So I think for employees, you have to find a balance between work and life and keep your spiritual and physical health as best as you can. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Adela.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope you can keep beauty and sleep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.